you guys know I have to sprinkle in just a little bit, just a little bit of player love here, okay? Just a tiny bit. So as you guys know, Jeremy Sochan, you probably know of him, right? You probably know him a little bit. So the hate for Sochan has diminished a little bit during this season, which is good. But then it got transferred over to Devin Vassell. So I think that we're always going to just need a scapegoat until the Spurs are winning. But with that being said, I just want to show you a few stats that I came across that were pretty great. So we already saw this one. This is, no new news right here. But this is Sochan's career defensive field goal percentages versus all-stars and all-star caliber players. So I don't think I have to say that this is impressive. This is obviously extraordinarily impressive. The reason why, because obviously you can see these percentages are very low. Like you got SGA in here, you got LaMelo Ball, you have LeBron James, super low. But what makes this so special to me is, and this is why I think we don't need to discredit this type of talent that we have, right? This is very important to our process. But what's really special here is that so many of these guys play different positions altogether. You have guards in here, you have small forwards in here, you have power forwards. Like this is not normal. This is not normal. So I think it's very disingenuous when some people say, oh, well, anybody can do that or plenty of players can do that. No, they can't. Guard this many. No, they can't. They can't. And I hate that it comes down to a player having to get multiple steals or multiple blocks for anything to be put on notice. This is impressive. Holding SGA to 34%. And this is a trend. This isn't like, oh, he did it one time or a couple times. This is a trend. It happens with a lot of star caliber players that he can essentially lock down, right? So just want to bring this one up. So this one isn't new, but this one is new. I did not see this one until now. Oops. That's the same one. I didn't see this one till now. So, fewest points per possession given up guarding ISOs. So this is just one-on-one. What you got? And as you can see, Jeremy Sochan is number one. Number one. I don't like. Okay, let me tell you how I go about things. Right, it's obvious that I have a bias towards Jeremy Sochan. I've always had a bias towards Jeremy Sochan. Before he was even drafted, I told you guys I want Sochan. Right, it was Sochan and Dyson Daniels. Like those are my main ones. Like these are the guys I want. Right, you can go back and look at some of my old posts. I wanted Sochan before the draft. I thought that he would be perfect for us going forward. I thought that he had enough of a ceiling, but also his floor being good enough for us to build upon that and get us a superstar and have a really great defensive team. Like I always felt that way. So I have a bias towards Jeremy. But one thing that I try to do is I don't just base things just on how I feel, right? Feelings can only get you so far. Eye test can only get you so far. So me watching these games, yes, I see the eye test. My eye test tells me Jeremy Sochan is doing his thing. He's really great defensively. But I also like to see the stats behind it, right? I like to see the stats behind it. And the stats scream that Sochan is a top defender in the NBA. Screams it that he's at least a top 5 to 10 player in the NBA defensively. And even offensively, there's nothing pointing towards him being bad offensively. Everything has pointed towards him being pretty at the top, right? I mean, I won't bring it up again because I think I bring it up way too often. But if you look at the percentiles, yeah, he's like top of the league in a lot of different areas. So, yes, am I biased? People can easily say you're biased towards Sochan. Of course. Yeah, sure. Yeah, obviously. I like Sochan as a player. I've always liked that type of player. But if the stats were just completely against me here, and he was one of the worst defenders in the NBA, I'm not going to sit here and use my feelings, my fifis, to say, oh, no, guys, actually is a good defender. All the stats point towards I'm right. I'm completely right to feel the way that I feel. It just is what it is, right? It was the same thing with Derek. Derek White's on this list too, by the way. He's number 9, as you can see. Number 9. Same thing with Derek. I've always felt that way about Derek. I've always liked him. But then the stats scream at me, yeah, he is good. You have a reason to like him. So just wanted to bring some of these up because this is not something that you're going to be able to watch or see right after the game. When you jump on ESPN and say, how did Jeremy Sochan do this game? This isn't going to pop up. This isn't going to pop up. But he's in great company. A few names that stand out to me: Eamon Thompson, Dyson Daniels, Derek White, Siakam. Right? That's pretty doggone good. Not going to lie. I don't know. And also, I love that. If y'all play like Sochan during pickup, you will always get chosen to play. Yeah, playing hard, strong fundamentals. Yeah. Does he make mistakes? Sure. But I think a lot of times his mistakes are I think for now, like I think right now a lot of his mistakes are overblown only because Sochan is he's a personality, you know? So people are going to criticize him even harsher. And I think a lot of people don't even know why they criticize him harsher than other guys. I'm going to tell you this right now. If Sochan was on that 2014 team, he fits right in. That's not even that crazy of a take because I think that his type of archetype fits in with a lot of different teams. But with the 2014 team, he would fit right in. I think there's a quote here that I wanted to bring up. Oh, yeah. I'll leave you on this note. This is what Mitch Johnson had to say. Oops. Can you read that? Of course you can't. I'll read it for you. He's a team player. He's versatile. He'll do what is asked of him to win. Again, I've said this a few times. I think sometimes he's talking like me. I do that all the time. Like, guys, like I've always said, like I do that all the time. I've said this a few times. I think sometimes the position stuff gets overblown with him. I think he's probably been guarded. Similarly, if we call him a shooting guard tonight, they are not going to guard him differently. But to your question, his commitment and investment to the team is doing what is asked of him is tremendous. You see him flourishing and developing in all these different ways, and the versatile puzzle piece he can fit with a lot of different types of players and different lineups, which is very valuable. This is the reason why I don't trip about him coming off the bench. There's so many people that I've seen say, well, he's coming off the bench because obviously he's trash. No. Did you even watch him at Baylor? He came off the bench. And the reason being is because you can use him in so many different ways. For now, even though I think that it will be more beneficial for him to just go ahead and start, honestly. I don't like our starting lineup. It hasn't been good. But, you know, the reason why they're doing it is because, he has to back up the center. He has to be backup center. That's it. They want him to have as much energy as possible because he got an assignment every night. He has to be backup center. So you can just fit him in so many different ways, and it's totally normal for this type of player for you to be. That's why Pop had him at point guard. We had him at center. We're experimenting. We know what he's capable of, right? And he's just getting better and better and better. And what's actually impressive to me is the fact that he has improved each season, even though he hasn't really been in his natural habitat 100%, right? He just hasn't. He's been adjusting to all these different things. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Just want to bring up any chance I get. I feel like more often with Sochan than any other player, I have to bring up the smaller things, right? Like I have to bring up stuff like this. So when I come across it, I do want to bring it up to you because I can't sit here and watch a game in which he has like 6 points and then explain to you how impactful those 6 points were that he had in this game. I can't just look at normal stats when it comes to him. It doesn't show up in the stat sheet that often. Whereas with even Steph Castle, honestly, with Steph Castle and Devin Vassell, their playing style is going to show up in the stat sheet. Most of the time it's going to show up, right? Maybe not always the defensive stuff, but it's going to show up in the stat sheet. But yeah, he's a more nuanced player than a lot of our other guys. So give the praise now, and don't just wait. Don't just keep waiting, right? Let's have fun now. Let's recognize what we have now and recognize how good this team could potentially be, rather than sitting back and saying this player should be traded, this player should be gone, this player sucks, this player's trash, this player doesn't do this player doesn't do that, and then you look foolish when we're winning and they're thriving. And then I guess you'll just say, oh, he magically got so much better from last season. No, it doesn't happen like that, right? And we do the same thing with players on this team. You'll see a player struggle a little bit last season with this, go to another organization, have a good stretch, like let's just say like a couple weeks of playing super well, and every Spurs fan to say, we held them back. They were so good. They were that good. I want them back. No, it's just different situations. And it's the same thing with us. You have someone like Sochan right now. You might not think too much of him. I promise you, when the Spurs are winning, when they have a more talented team, oh my goodness, he's gonna stand out. He is undoubtedly gonna stand out in those tougher situations, those tougher matchups. He is gonna stand out, and it's gonna be awesome. Anyways, that's all I had to say. So, nuance, people, nuance. We have a top defender in the NBA on our team, not named Wemby. Be grateful for that. Let's be happy about it. Steph Castle's really great too. But anyways.